Welcome to our channel. Today, you're going to listen to a true and powerful life story. This story is not just about success. It is about failure, pain, hope, and never giving up. This is the true life story of Steve Jobs. Please stay with us until the end, because this story can motivate you, teach you English, and help you believe in your own dream. A beginning full of questions. Steve Jobs was born on February 24th, 1955, in California, USA. From the first day of his life, his story was different. His biological parents were young and not ready to raise a child. They decided to give their baby up for adoption. This decision changed Steve's life forever. A simple and kind couple, Paul and Clara Jobs, adopted him. They were not rich. They did not have high education. But they had something very important: love. They promised that they would give Steve a good life. Paul Jobs worked as a mechanic. He fixed cars and machines. He liked working carefully and slowly. Paul taught Steve a lesson that stayed with him for life. If you build something, build it well, even if nobody can see it. This lesson later became part of Apple's culture. A child who did not fit in. Steve Jobs was a smart child, but he was not easy. He asked too many questions. He became bored very fast. He did not like school rules. Many teachers did not understand him. Some teachers thought he was a problem child. Steve felt different from other children. Sometimes he felt lonely. Sometimes he felt angry. But inside, his mind was always working. He loved thinking. He loved ideas. He loved imagining the future, discovering technology. As Steve grew older, he became interested in electronics. He liked taking things apart and putting them back together. He wanted to know how things worked. When he was a teenager, he met a young man named Steve Wozniak. Wozniak was very good with electronics and computers. Steve Jobs was very good with ideas, vision, and speaking. They became close friends. They spent many nights talking about technology, the future, and life. They did not know it yet, but together, they would change the world. The garage dream. Steve Jobs did not finish college. He dropped out, but he continued learning on his own. He believed that learning does not only happen in school. One day, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak decided to build a computer together. They had no money. They had no office. They had no investors. They worked in a small garage. That garage was hot, small, and uncomfortable, but it was full of dreams. They built their first computer by hand. Steve Jobs believed this computer could be useful for normal people, not only engineers. They started a company and named it Apple. Steve chose the name because it sounded friendly and simple. The big fall. In 1985, something shocking happened. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he helped create. Imagine that feeling. Your own company, your own dream, and suddenly you are not wanted. Steve was only 30 years old. He felt embarrassed. He felt angry. He felt lost. He later said this was one of the hardest moments of his life. Many people thought his story was finished, but it was not. Starting again from zero. After leaving Apple, Steve Jobs started a new company called Next. This time, he wanted to build powerful computers for education and business. At first, Next did not become very successful. But Steve did not stop learning. Around the same time, he bought a small animation company. That company later became Pixar. Pixar struggled in the beginning. Money was tight, failure was close. But Steve believed in the people and the idea. Years later, Pixar released Toy Story. It became a huge success. Steve Jobs had proven something important. Failure does not mean the end. Sometimes failure is preparation. Return to Apple. In the late 1990s, Apple was struggling. The company was losing money. It needed help. Apple made a surprising decision. They asked Steve Jobs to come back. Steve returned to Apple, not as the same man, but as a wiser one. He had learned from failure. He had learned patience. He simplified Apple's products. He focused on quality, not quantity, changing the world after returning to Apple. Steve Jobs helped create products that changed the world. the iPod changed how people listened to music, that the iPhone changed how people used phones. The iPad changed how people read, work, and learn. Steve Jobs believed in one simple idea: technology should serve people. Steve Jobs believed in one simple idea: technology should serve people. Apple became one of the most valuable companies in the world. Health and final years. Steve Jobs also faced serious health problems. He was diagnosed with cancer. Even during illness, he continued working. He believed time was precious. He focused only on what truly mattered. In 2011, Steve Jobs passed away. The world warned him that his ideas did not die. The lessons of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs' life teaches us many lessons. Your beginning does not define your future. Failure can make you stronger. Passion is more important than money. Simplicity is powerful. Never stop believing in your vision. Steve Jobs once said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." Final message: if you are learning English, keep going. If you are chasing a dream, don't stop. If you fail, stand up again. If you enjoyed this true story, and if you want to learn English and stay motivated, subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it with someone who needs inspiration. Thank you for listening, and remember, your story is not finished yet.